Hi, my name is John Noble. I'm a junior at Drake University, and I just started going to Downtown Disciples this last summer. I've been really impressed with Downtown Disciples because I think that there we really live out our mission of doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly. I think the doing justice aspect has always been a big part for me. I was really impressed this last week and ongoing. We're engaging the Black Lives Matter protests. You know, we're talking about white power, and we're talking about white supremacy and other forms of violence in our society. And so we're talking about, you know, all of these things that we, as a predominantly white church, you know, in a predominantly white denomination, have to deal with. And we're having hard conversations. And I think, you know, we and Pastor Debbie were not afraid to have hard conversations. And they're approached pastorally, but they're approached in an honest way. So I think that doing justice for me is being able to tackle really, really hard conversations that are going on right now. I think the loving mercy, I think, is another big thing for me. It really is a space of mercy for me, in that it's a space where you walk in and it doesn't matter what background you come from, you know, who you are, anything, you know, you walk in and it's a space where you are welcomed and affirmed, and it's open to you, you know, and it's beyond open to you. I think it's also affirming. I think it's important that we're an LGBTQ affirming church, as opposed to just a church, you know, that sort of generally says everybody is welcome. You know, to go that extra step and to work towards becoming an affirming church that is, you know, doing that work, I think that's so important. So that for me is definitely where the mercy part comes in. I think the walking humbly, I think there is, I think any church, like I said before, that is willing to engage with the goals and ideas of Black Lives Matter, I think, especially for a predominantly white church like I talked about, it requires a lot of humility, and humility is hard, but humility is important. And I think there's a lot of humility in what we do, and I think sometimes walking humbly is the one that gets overlooked, but I think we approach this really holistically. You know, we say we are loving justice because that's an easy one for progressives in this church to latch onto. We are, you know, loving mercy because who doesn't want to be seen as merciful, but we're also walking humbly. And that's not always an easy one, but I think that's a really important one. So it's all three for me. It's the doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly. And I think that's how we live out our mission in the community.